Good afternoon, everybody. If you should ever find yourself a little bit nervous about getting in front of your community and speaking on stage, I highly recommend you follow the Vero Beach High School Orchestra and Chorus. We're here to move into a different phase of the concert, if you will. Our naming of the auditorium committee, made up of community, band, and school representatives, would like to take this opportunity to move to this portion of the ceremony, and I'd like to welcome and announce our dignitaries with us here today. If you would please stand. Can we get a little bit of light on the audience? Thank you. Thank you. If you would please stand as I call your name, just give us a little wave. Mr. Sammons' family members, Priscilla Sammons, Miss Geiger, Holly Plank, and Tracy Dale. And from the school district, we have Dr. Mark Rendell, Superintendent of Schools, with us here today. Dr. Rendell. Mr. Charles Searcy, School Board Member. And our naming of the auditorium committee members, Jim Laban, Amanda Kastner, Mr. Oscar, Katie Knappman, Leslie Steele, Reverend Deal, Jason Shaver, Band Booster President, Tony Coons, Bookkeeper and Cheerleading Coach Extraordinaire, Stacy Howell, Paige Howell, Assistant Director of Bands, Michael Hastings, Colonel Tony Young, Veterans Council, Rosemarie Livings, Alma Lee Loy, Brandon Putsky, Percussion Director, Jeff Smith, Clerk of the Court, and Wesley Davis, County Commissioner. We thank them all. If they would all please stand. Would you all please stand for a moment? Everybody I just named. And we thank them all for their hard work in this endeavor. I believe that the energy that a person pours into their passion produces an effect upon that which he or she touches far beyond the years of their work. We are here to dedicate this auditorium to Mr. James Sammons, Director of Bands at Vero Beach High School. In this week's school district press release, it was said that Mr. Sammons is a dedicated leader committed to furthering the Vero Beach High School Band program. He has been awarded the Citation of Excellence from the National Band Association with official proclamations from the City of Vero Beach, the County Board of Commissioners, the Veterans Council of Indian River County, the state's legislature, and the governor's office. Yes. Our Indian River County School Board declared their approval for this dedication last spring after presentations by the naming committee and interested parties. I once heard it put this way: love is energy, and energy is everything. Jim Sammons and his energy for this band that he loves is what I want to attest to here today as principal of Vero Beach High School. Jim Sammons has been pouring his energy into this band at Vero Beach High School for the past 33 years, since I believe 1982. He was hired then by John B. Witt and tasked to create a band for the ages, and so he has. As I go through my day, I don't know about you, but my energy level rises and it falls. But when it comes to this band, these students, the music, and the performance, Jim's energy is passion for the arts embodied. I've been watching Jim's work with our band since 2008. Beyond that, I go back to old yearbooks. I see in those yearbooks from some time ago the infancy of so many school traditions that were started by this band under the leadership of Mr. Sammons. Traditions kept alive and thriving by this band's collective energy that Mr. Sammons inspires daily and we all share in. I've been lucky enough to watch Mr. Sammons' life work in the classroom, on the field, in the concert halls here, and as far away as Indianapolis, Indiana. I've been privileged to know some of his loved ones too and watch them with Jim, his assistant band director, Mr. Howell, that he has helped to grow to be one of the best in the business. Mr. Sammons' own son, Dr. Michael Sammons, becoming a band director too, shows me that the musical message of Mr. Sammons is true and powerful. On behalf of Vero Beach High School, our students, faculty, and staff, I want to relay to Mr. Sammons how well-deserved we feel the naming of this auditorium is in your honor. Thank you, Mr. Sammons, for your passion and energy over so many years here at Vero Beach High School. And now I'd like to turn it over to Reverend Deal, who has been working so hard for so many years pursuing this moment. Mr. Sammons.
Don't go far, Jim. Come on over. I tell you, this is such an honor and a privilege to stand here with Jim. I was a band parent for 14 years. We have 4 kids spread out, and it was some of the best 14 years of our lives here in Vero Beach. Rumor has it that a little over 30 years ago, I think it was John Witt, said that if you get a good football team and a good performing arts core in a high school, everything else falls into place. Well, I'm not exactly sure how accurate the rumor was, but the truth of it, I know, is so, so true. And Jim was a part of raising that bar along with Billy Livings, and I think how fitting to have the Billy Livings field across the street and the James M. Sammons Auditorium right here, because they were hired at the same time, and you guys raised the bar. And you've seen the fruit of the seeds that were planted back then. It continued to be planted in our young people's lives over all these 30 years. And this was wonderful, Jim. I'm so honored to be a part of recognizing you. Yeah. But you know, as Jim would say himself, it's always about the kids. And I've seen, as a band parent for all of those years and continuing to be a part of it, mine are all in their 30s now, but I've seen it's not just about the music. It's about creating character and developing the gifts in young people's lives that take them into their fields wherever they might be it in music or medicine or whatever the arts or any other walk of life. And we've seen it, we appreciate it, and nothing's more fitting. And the community support I got as a co-chair of this committee for the naming was just overwhelming. Everyone I talked to said, this is the right thing to do, it's overtime, and we're happy to be a part of it. So thank you, glad to be a part of it. God bless you, Jim.
I believe we have a few more speakers. Okay, Veterans Council? Or Mr. Shaver? Mr. Shaver? Okay. All right. I think we had one more visitor is joining us. Okay. All right, here we go.
Good afternoon. I'd like to take a minute on behalf of the veterans of Indian River County and just bring attention to this man who has given so much of himself. And when I spoke with our executive board last week, we wanted to do something special in addition to this certificate. So the executive board of Indian River County Veterans Council decided to bequeath the band a gift of $1,000 in addition to our appreciation. Simply, I'll read what's on the little note here. It says, the veterans of Indian River County salute you, Mr. Sammons. There we go. All right. And quickly, Jim, on this special day of dedication, we join the celebration. Thank you for all you have done in support of the veterans of Indian River County. Your dedication and skill has contributed immensely to the recognition provided to all those that have served and their families. It is fitting that your name be honored with this gesture of respect and affection. We know music speaks to the soul of every soldier, sailor, Marine, airman, and Coast Guardsman. The selfless commitment you exemplify is part of the warrior ethos. Thank you and your family from the 14,000 plus veterans that call this coastal paradise home. Sincerely, me. Thank you.
Colonel Tony Young. And now Mr. Jason Shaver, Band Booster President.
Thank you. When I realized I would be following these gentlemen, I figured I'd better get to work and start writing my speech. So when I got done, I realized I didn't have anything really to hold it in, so I went and got this binder this morning, capable of holding 350 pages. Conveniently, it also has a very nice pocket in the front. So if you'll bear with me, I did not realize Mr. Sammons would be standing here. So that's just a little intimidating. No. When I first learned I was to speak, I dreaded the thought because I know people do not typically like to come to a musical performance and listen to people go on and on. But when I mentioned this to Paige Visser, our band's travel coordinator, now pause there for just a second. Our band has a travel coordinator because it is so large and so active, it requires that nearly full-time volunteer position. Anyway, when I expressed my concern, Paige replied, if speeches are not made and stories are not retold, then history dies with the death of the man. That is why we speak today, so I beg your indulgence. When I asked Miss Alma Lee Loy for her thoughts, she said this, today is a historic day in the life of Vero Beach High School. It will proclaim forever the efforts, love, spirit, and care James M. Sammons has exemplified over the past 30 plus years of caring for his students. This is indeed a historic occasion worthy of reflection. When Mr. Sammons first arrived here in Vero Beach in the fall of 1980, there were approximately 70 members in the Vero Beach High School band. Today there are 235. With such impressive growth, the question is, why? And I would recommend that the answer is the unwavering expectation of excellence. My dad always said, children will always strive to reach any level of reasonable expectation. Mr. Sammons instinctively understood this from the beginning. He always knew how to set goals that seemed slightly out of reach, and then knew just how to motivate band members to reach them. Over the years, the methods of motivation certainly have changed. What has not changed is the expectation. This expectation has certainly led to a very long list of accomplishments. 35 consecutive superior ratings at the Marching District MPAs, 34 consecutive ratings at the District Symphonic Musical Performance Assessments. The bands have performed at the Orange Bowl, the Cherry Blossom Parade, the Fiesta Bowl, the Macy's Thanksgiving and Tournament of Roses parades, just to name a few. The best of these accomplishments, of course, being Macy's and Tournament of Roses, since I marched in them with you. However, if you were to ask Mr. Sammons which of these was the most impressive, he would surely say the next one. The reason for growth is that people desire to be part of something that works to be its very best, because in the end, they get to enjoy the fruits of their labors spent striving to achieve. So the program is very large enough to need an associate director, a booster organization, a travel coordinator, a chaperone coordinator, and a large team of parent volunteers to help everything run smoothly. But the other part of the story is that to Mr. Sammons, it is not that this is a 235-piece band, but rather this is a band made up of 235 distinct individuals. Each with very different strengths and weaknesses, talents and needs. He cares about each individual. He does not concern himself with how talented they are when they come into the band, but rather the growth of their abilities while here. He does not care if they are immature or irresponsible when they start, but rather the development of their character during the time that he has influence. Recently, a family asked Mr. Sammons about whether or not their child, who does not march as well as others, could possibly march in the Peach Bowl parade. This being a competition, they didn't want their child to detract from the possibility of achieving again. His reply was, "I would never let anyone sit out due to lesser ability. Competitions are a side event. We do these things so that all of the kids will have the experience." This is one of hundreds of stories of compassion. I have seen Mr. Sammons rejoice with students on their greatest days. I have also seen him mourn with families of band members on their very darkest days. This is a man that cares about the success of the larger group only because he knows the benefits it affords the individuals. So today it is our privilege, our duty, our honor to name this auditorium after the man who built this amazing program. He will undoubtedly give credit to many, many other people. He always deflects praise by citing the kids, the school district, volunteers, and so on. And it is true that all of these other people deserve some credit. But over the span of 35 years, leading to this moment, there is only one constant: Mr. James M. Sammons. From this day forward, let the James M. Sammons Auditorium bear his name so that future generations will know what this community held as good and worthy of honor. Thank you, Mr. Sammons.
I believe we have one more speaker, a bit of a surprise. Mr. Sammons, if we could come over this way a little bit. If I could draw your attention to behind the curtain, Mr. Sammons. It's Dr. Michael Sammons, Mr. Sammons' son.
Hi, Dad. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, well, I think I'm on, so I just wanted to, I'm literally phoning it in today, as we always joke about, but I wanted to let you know, give you a congratulatory message on the naming of the Performing Arts Center. I know what a huge honor it is for you, and I know how proud you are of the program over the many, many years. So I couldn't be there today, but I wanted to let you know how proud I am of you and for you, and that I was thinking of you today. And I also want to thank Karen Wiggins for making this all happen so that I could call in today and give you that message. So I hope the concert's going well, and I'll talk to you later. But I love you, and hope you have a really wonderful day. And again, congratulations, and very, very deserving. So much respect for you, and all that. So, okay, have a great concert.
And with the unveiling that is now going to take place outside each of these hallway doorways and above the doors, I declare this auditorium the James Sammons Auditorium.
Thank you all. I don't really know what to say except thanks to my family for always being there, and thanks to all the folks that support me through the years. I don't know what's on the walls out there, but I wish there were a way to engrave every family member, every colleague, every student that I've ever been associated with somehow on that, because they made it happen. I certainly didn't do that. I also want to just share one of the great moments of my career with you, my time here. And it was about 11 years ago, just short of 11 years ago, when on this stage, we had our first event in this building, and I saw a symphony orchestra sitting here. I was back at the control booth. I saw a symphony orchestra sitting here that we had dreamed about for years, with wind players and percussionists and strings, and a marvelous choir sitting behind them and singing. And it became a complete department, which was always my dream for the school, to have a complete department here. And that transcends the band stuff and all that, to have this performing arts department with this wonderful staff, my family, all these kids who've played over the years, sang over the years, have bowed their string instruments over the years. That's the dream come true. So in those letters are engraved all those names and all those images for all those years. Thank you all very much.